What if I told you that the most dangerous threats to your happiness in your golden years aren't illness or financial troubles, but 9 quiet mistakes you're probably making right now without even realizing it? If you found yourself here today, something inside you knows that life should feel more vibrant than it does. Maybe you've been wondering why the days feel longer but emptier, or why that spark you once had seems dimmed. Well, you're about to discover exactly what's been stealing your joy, and more importantly, how to take it back. Hit that like button if you're ready to reclaim the life you deserve, because what we're about to explore together could change everything. Welcome to Elderly Active Life, where we upload fresh insights every single day to help you thrive, not just survive, in your most precious years. I'm here to walk alongside you as we uncover these silent joy thieves and arm you with the tools to defeat them. The 9 Silent Joy-Thieves mistakes. Mistake number 1, accepting that dreams have expiration dates. Picture Margaret from Phoenix, who at 68 believed her artistic dreams were foolish at her age. She'd hidden her paintbrushes away after retirement, convinced that creativity was a young person's game. But one rainy Tuesday, while cleaning out her closet, she found those brushes and felt something stir inside her chest, a whisper that said, "What if?" Here's what society doesn't want you to know. Passion doesn't age out. It doesn't wrinkle or slow down or become inappropriate. It simply goes dormant when we stop feeding it. The fire inside you isn't extinguished. It's just waiting for oxygen. The beauty of pursuing dreams later in life is freedom from others' expectations. You're not trying to impress anyone or build a career. You're creating for the pure joy of creation, learning for the love of discovery, and exploring because exploration feels good. Margaret started painting again that very day. 6 months later, she had her first gallery showing, not because she was exceptionally talented, but because she permitted herself to begin again. What dreams are collecting dust in your heart's closet? Mistake number 2, making your children responsible for your happiness. There's a heartbreaking pattern I see repeatedly. Parents who raised independent, successful children suddenly feeling abandoned because those same children are independent and successful. Take Robert from Denver. Every Sunday, he'd sit by his phone waiting for his daughter Sarah to call. When she didn't, his entire week felt ruined. His happiness had become hostage to her schedule, and both of them could feel the weight of that unspoken pressure. The truth is this: your children cannot be your entire emotional ecosystem. They have their storms to weather, their gardens to tend. When you place the responsibility for your joy entirely on their shoulders, you create a burden that love alone cannot carry. Robert's transformation began when he joined a local hiking group. Suddenly, his Sundays were filled with adventure instead of waiting. When Sarah did call, their conversations became richer because he had stories to share beyond his loneliness. Your emotional well-being is your responsibility, and that's wonderful news because it means you have the power to change it. If these insights are resonating with you, let me know by commenting 2 below. Your engagement helps us reach more people who need this message. Mistake number 3, treating your body like yesterday's news. Here's what happens when we decide our bodies no longer matter. We start dying while we're still alive. We shuffle instead of striding. We slump instead of standing tall. We treat our physical selves like abandoned houses, letting everything fall into disrepair. But your body is not yesterday's news. It's today's vehicle for joy. Consider Linda from Seattle, who at 73 decided she was too old to care about her health. She stopped her morning walks, ate whatever was convenient, and spent most days in her pajamas. Within 6 months, climbing her stairs felt like conquering a mountain. The turning point came when her granddaughter asked her to dance at a wedding. Linda couldn't, not because she was too old, but because she had forgotten she was still alive. Your body doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be honored. Small acts of care, a gentle stretch, a mindful meal, a walk around the block, send a message to your spirit. I'm still here, and I still matter. Linda started with 5-minute morning stretches. A year later, she was teaching water aerobics at her community center, not because she became young again, but because she remembered she was still living. Mistake number 4, guarding your money like a dragon guards gold. Money sitting unused in an account isn't security, it's potential energy never converted to actual joy. Too many people die wealthy and regretful, having spent their final years protecting resources they never allowed themselves to enjoy. Think about Harold from Austin, who had saved meticulously his entire life. In his 80s, he had a comfortable nest egg but lived like a pauper. He wouldn't buy fresh fruit because it was too expensive, wouldn't hire help for his garden because it was wasteful, wouldn't visit his sister in California because plane tickets were outrageous. Harold died with a six-figure bank account and a heart full of missed opportunities. This isn't about reckless spending, it's about intentional living. Your money should serve your life, not imprison it. That trip you've been dreaming about, that hobby you've been considering, that small luxury that would bring you daily joy, you've already paid for it through decades of work and sacrifice. Use your resources to buy back time, comfort, experiences, and yes, happiness. You've earned the right to enjoy what you've saved. Mistake number 5, believing your story is already written. At 76, Dorothy from Miami thought her chapter of new beginnings had closed permanently. She'd been widowed for 3 years, living in the same routine, convinced that reinvention was a privilege of youth. Then her apartment building was sold, forcing her to move. Terrified but with no choice, she relocated to a senior community an hour away. Within weeks, she discovered amenities she'd never imagined. Art classes, book clubs, volunteer opportunities, even a community garden. "I thought my life was over," she told me months later, "but it was just beginning a new volume." Starting over isn't about erasing your past, it's about honoring it by refusing to stay trapped in it. Every morning you wake up is a chance to write a different sentence, make a different choice, take a different path. The most beautiful reinventions often happen later in life because they're built on wisdom, not just hope. You know who you are now. You know what matters. That knowledge is your superpower for creating whatever comes next. Mistake number 6, sleepwalking through your days. When did you stop noticing? When did the sunrise become background noise and conversations become mere sounds? When did you start existing instead of living? Autopilot feels safe, but it's dangerous. It's how months disappear, how years vanish, how we arrive at the end, wondering where all the time went. James from Portland realized he'd been sleepwalking when his neighbor asked him about the beautiful garden next door. James had walked past it every day for 2 years and never truly seen it. That day he stopped and looked. The colors, the textures, the way the light played through the leaves. It was breathtaking, and it had been there all along. Breaking autopilot doesn't require dramatic gestures, it requires attention. Notice one new thing on your usual walk. Ask one unexpected question in a routine conversation. Try a different approach to a daily task. Life is still happening around you, and you deserve to be part of it, not just a witness to it. Still following along? Drop a 6 in the comments to show you're engaged with these insights. Every day we share new strategies on elderly active life to help you live more intentionally. Mistake number 7, tolerating people who drain your light. Energy is precious at any age, but it becomes sacred as we grow older. Yet many people spend their golden years pouring themselves out to relationships that offer nothing back but obligation and exhaustion. Consider Beverly from Chicago, who dreaded phone calls from her sister Nancy. Every conversation left Beverly feeling criticized, diminished, and emotionally depleted. But Beverly endured it because family is family, even when family felt more like punishment than blessing. The day Beverly finally said, "Nancy, I need to end this call when it becomes hurtful," everything changed. Not immediately, Nancy was shocked and angry, but over time, their interactions became either genuinely loving or simply less frequent. Both outcomes improved Beverly's life. You have the right to protect your peace. You have the right to require respect. You have the right to say, "This doesn't work for me anymore," without apology or lengthy explanation. Relationships should add to your life, not subtract from it. If someone consistently leaves you feeling smaller, sadder, or more anxious, it's time to create some loving distance. Your energy is a gift. Give it to people who treasure it, not those who drain it. Mistake number 8, abandoning your soul's compass. Somewhere in the busyness of living, many people lose touch with the deeper currents that once guided them. Prayer becomes forgotten, meditation feels foreign, and that sense of connection to something greater grows distant. But your spiritual life isn't about religion or rules. It's about remembering that you're part of something larger than your daily concerns. It's about finding meaning that transcends circumstances, peace that doesn't depend on perfect conditions. Eleanor from Nashville had prayed every morning for 40 years. After her husband's death, she stopped. "I was angry," she explained. "I felt abandoned." For 2 years, she lived without that spiritual anchor, feeling increasingly untethered and alone. Her return to prayer didn't happen in church. It happened in her garden, talking to her tomato plants about her grief. She realized she'd never lost her faith. She'd just been expressing it differently. Your spiritual connection doesn't need to look like anyone else's. It might be meditation, nature walks, journaling, music, or simply sitting quietly and breathing gratitude into the day. Feed your soul with whatever helps you remember you're more than just your troubles, your age, or your circumstances. Mistake number 9, assuming all the magic has already happened. The most tragic mistake of all is believing your capacity for wonder has expired. That surprise, beauty, and discovery belong to younger people. That the best moments of your life are all behind you. This belief becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. When you stop expecting joy, you stop recognizing it. When you stop looking for beauty, you walk past it without seeing. When you stop believing in possibility, opportunities feel invisible. But what if the opposite were true? What if your deepest experiences of awe, your most meaningful connections, and your most profound insights are still ahead of you? Charles from Tampa discovered birdwatching at 81. "I'd lived in the same house for 30 years, he said, and never noticed I was surrounded by migrating songbirds every spring. Now his mornings are filled with binoculars, field guides, and wonder at the tiny dramas playing out in his backyard. Stay curious, stay open. The world is still full of gifts you haven't unwrapped yet. If you're still with me and feeling inspired by these insights, show your support with an 8 in the comments. Remember, we're here every day on Elderly Active Life with fresh perspectives to enrich your journey, your path forward. You've traveled far to reach this moment. You've weathered storms, celebrated victories, loved deeply, and learned hard lessons. All of that experience hasn't been preparation for retirement from life. It's been preparation for life's richest chapters. These 9 mistakes aren't character flaws. They're simply patterns that developed when you weren't paying attention. And patterns can be changed. Not overnight, not perfectly, but gradually and with great gentleness toward yourself. Choose one mistake that resonated most deeply. Not all 9, just one. What would it look like to address that pattern this week? What small step could you take tomorrow? Maybe it's picking up a paintbrush, making a doctor's appointment, planning a small adventure, or simply paying attention during your evening walk. The size of the step matters less than the direction. Your story isn't over. Some of the most beautiful chapters might be the ones you haven't written yet. All you need is the courage to turn the page and start writing again. If something in this message spoke to your heart, I hope you'll share it with someone who needs to hear it. Sometimes all it takes is one person believing in us to change the entire trajectory of our remaining years. Subscribe to Elderly Active Life for daily inspiration, practical wisdom, and gentle reminders that your best days don't have to be behind you. We're building a community where every stage of life is honored, especially this one. And remember, you're not walking this path alone. We're all figuring it out together, one day at a time, one choice at a time, one moment of courage at a time. Your golden years are meant to shine. Let's make sure they do. Like this video if it helped you see something differently, and I'll see you tomorrow with another insight to brighten your journey.